The kindness.
Games.
Overtime.
Very nice. Very
Beautiful.
nice.
Why is that so much fun still? We've been doing
Nailed
that for like 5 months.
Amazing.
It's always good. Always
Just
good
gets better
stuff.
and better every time.
It's such a good time. So we are back for another scoreboard. Eric Brinks, everybody.
Woohoo.
In the pub.
Nice.
By request. By
Dude.
request.
You have the best backgrounds ever. When I was
All
watching
alcohol
your
related.
videos, I couldn't tell. I was like, is he really out somewhere? Is he on a bar?
No
It's,
joke.
you know, they're
it was
really
a
well done.
conversation. Yeah.
They're really well, especially the other one I use. I think it's the lighting, the way that the lighting works. It sort of works along with how it is at the house. So yeah, it's always good.
Yeah. How have you been, man? I haven't talked to you in a long
I'm
time.
good. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been good. Been just working hard and prepping for a baby on the way, which is always a good time. So that's some exciting news, exciting stuff coming up.
Nice. Congrats,
Awesome.
bro.
Thank you.
Woohoo.
Appreciate it.
So for those of you who may not know, Eric is our 16th alumnus, and he was a graduate of the Fifth Wave. Eric,
Fifth Wave.
Yeah. What was your Kindness Games experience like? Can you tell us about it a little bit and why you joined?
Yeah. It was it's funny being like Fifth Wave and 16th, just because we've had so many other people coming through since then. But yeah, like a lot of participants, I was a little bit of a cheerleader from the sidelines for a while, and really a big fan of the movement. I think having been in the industry for a little bit, kindness is not always what you see on a day-to-day basis. So being able to see this group of people shouting everybody out and really, again, just kind of filling up the timeline. What do they say? The kids blowing up the timeline these days?
The kids.
I got, Dad, I got to get the dad lingo set down. So blowing up the
dad
timeline
jokes.
with all the kindness. Yeah. And and so, it's really awesome to see something I kind of looked forward to, and the more people that got into it. And then after a while, I just felt like, okay, I gotta jump in. And so I talked to you about it, Tim, and then I think I took about another month to plan, which was really just procrastinate for a month, plan in a day, and then just go with it.
I love the honesty. You got sucked right in.
Yeah. So that's about right for me. I say, yeah, I'm gonna do this. A month later, I'm like, okay, it's embarrassing now. People are ashamed, and yeah, so now I don't have a choice.
Anytime, you're welcome.
Well, I'm glad you jumped in, because there are a few people who have talked to me about it, who have said it's coming, and yet we're still waiting. So
it happens. I've had the same people telling me I gotta do this, and I say, you gotta, but then they know that I delayed, like I was a little too honest with them too. So forget everything that I just said. As soon as you say you're gonna do it, you have
just
to do
jumped
it
right
day.
in.
Yeah, I have to do it. So
or send Tim Wenzel a invite, and he'll record on spot, and you'll have to join.
Then you'll have
or he'll
your
trick
first
you
one.
into it.
No choice. Yep.
Eric, what was your experience like? What was the feedback like from either people you shouted out or people that you didn't and they were just watching?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was very, very good feedback. Had a lot of people at work that were really into it and thought it was really cool. Great initiative. And they're almost everybody there is like, this is their first experience in the industry. So I think that was something that was really important to me was, again, that was not always my experience. So kind of allowing people who are coming into the industry, and that's something that they're seeing a lot of, I think, I thought was pretty awesome to hear. And then I did have a lot of people that, again, jumped into the sort of cheerleading role, and then have talked about doing it. And so I've been kind of behind the scenes encouraging them to do so. And then there's been people who weren't called out and literally said, hey, I had like 2 or 3 people say, when am I showing up? And fortunately for them, they were already on my list. So they did end up getting their shout outs. But I thought that was pretty funny too. I took that as a good thing that they loved it so much that they really just wanted to be a part of it. And were so bold as to literally text me and say, hey, when am I on your list? Again, multiple people. I think it was no less than 5 when I actually think about it. Yeah.
Well, at least they texted, and so you had time to add them to the list.
Yeah, they were already on the list. All of you who said totally were on the list, totally. Did not add you in, didn't pencil you in there, but yeah.
That's awesome. So you say that you have some people that you work with who are wanting to get in, they just haven't yet?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, set up some Zoom meetings and then invite me, and we'll just get them started.
For sure.
He'll press record.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll continue your overtime journey too, because you can do a shout out right there, man.
I know. It'll be great.
Is there any hope to get the Brinks, which is the best name in security, by the way, right?
Really is. Yeah.
Absolutely the best last name.
Totally.
In security.
Destined. It was meant to be, for sure.
For sure. Any plans for continuing overtime? Continuing the journey?
Yeah, there will be. So I am working on something, kind of a new podcasting. I think I even mentioned it last time we talked. It's been a long time coming, but it's going to be about kind of my experiences entering the industry and focused on kind of young professionals and perceptions, whether they're more stereotypical than true, or sometimes they're stereotypes and true. So kind of digging into all of that stuff. And at the end of every show, I plan on doing a kindness game shout out and tying it all in that way too. So that's going to be, hopefully that's going to be like a weekly thing, or, every 2 weeks. And then, so at least there will be that coming up. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome too that you not only gave back with the kindness games, but you're also giving back to the industry by sharing your experience. Tim does the same thing, right? But I think sharing your experience for those people that are starting out, or people that are new or learning as they go, they might think they're alone, but we're all here, right? Everybody's gone through similar journeys, not the same.
And it's cool because there's, I think, certain stories that get told more than others. And so I think my goal will be to kind of highlight as many different stories as I can to try to, again, showcase a little bit, just different angles, so that it can be more inclusive and nobody really feels like, oh, well, that's great that they're telling their story, but that's not really something I've experienced. And so that part is really, really exciting about it. So it should be fun.
Very cool.
Kelsey, when are you going to start a podcast? I kind of feel like you've been like in the arena, right? You're around all of us who are always jumping on camera. When are you going to start like crushing it with Kelsey?
Is that like a challenge? I think it is. He knows
I gave you the
exactly how I
name,
work. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe soon. Well, I'll have to crushing it with Kelsey. I like
Planting
it.
the seed.
Yeah.
Putting it in the ground.
I'll have to talk about, what do I talk about? TBD.
All right, everybody. It is the 5th of April, and this is the Kindness Games scoreboard. Really quick, we are going to run down the list of alumni. Number 1, Tim Wenzel. Number 2, Lee Otten. And number 3, Kelsey Carnell. The original Kindness Games people. Jason Sakura, Josh Ledesma, Brandon Tan, Jay McDermott, Steve D'Onofrio.
Every time.
Every time. Bill Massey hanging out at the playground. Coach Kathleen Ferris was the 10th alumnus. Sue Ginsburg, Kekishan Dedwani, Paul Moxness, Kunle Palemo, our first competitor out of Africa. Abhijit Kumar, our first alumnus out of India. And Eric Brink, at number 16.
That's me. Hey.
That's that one right there. I think that's where we're at on the screen. It's hard to know.
Hard to know.
Carlos Francisco was number 17th, and that was all the 2020 alumni. But 2021 did come and kicked off on New Year's Day with Janina Linka out of the UK. Lisa Oliveri. Angela Scalpello was our 20th alumnus. Christopher Stitt. He is a Kindness Games trendsetter and record breaker. So he's 21. He's amazing. Elisa Mula was 22. Min Karianis was 2023. And as of the 5th of April, Heidi Tripp, everybody.
I
She
love it.
literally just posted number 30 an hour before we came on to do this.
Woohoo!
So that's awesome. 24 alumni.
We're getting there.
We're getting
Amazing.
We're getting there.
What do we say? 100 by the end of the year?
Well, 100 competitors, because right now we're in the high 50s.
True. Not alumni,
But
but we welcome it.
like, why would we have 50 alumni by then? I don't know.
True.
Some of us are slacking by not actively recruiting.
Sorry. I'm trying. Or he was talking about you, Kelsey.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Kelsey's the biggest kindness booster in the
That is true.
the world,
Very
man.
true.
She's
Very
making
true.
the world spin with kindness. All right, so we will run through the top tier real quick. I am in the lead with 4 overtime 4. That's 124 posts.
That's an animal status. It's amazing.
Crazy. It's truly become a lifestyle for me.
Love
Not a
that.
bad way to go. Not a bad way to go.
I am also the only one that's finished triple overtime. But in double overtime, we have Lee Otten at 24. Oh, no, 23, because he didn't show up today.
That was cruel.
Uh-oh.
Lee and I, we're like the best friends that have ever existed who have never met in real life.
It's pretty awesome.
That's
So I gotta throw him some shade every now and again. Plus, I kind of want to be like him when I grow up because he's old.
Another one. Man.
Keeps on coming, man.
the recovery with more.
Kelsey Carnell is in 2 overtime 11. Steve D'Onofrio is at double overtime 10. And Min Karianis just the other day finished single overtime. And so we've got her penciled in at double overtime because Min, I don't think your kindness has reached an end. We're watching for you.
Challenge.
You gotta hang out with us more, man. We just have a good time. It's like several days a week. So everybody down through double overtime. Eric, do you know any of those people like personally, or have you met them
No,
outside of me and Kelsey?
no, I haven't. I haven't met Lee either. I was really looking forward to meeting Lee today.
Wow.
Dang.
Really looking forward to meeting Lee today.
Yes.
You did it. I had to do it. I haven't even met him in the kindness
Virtual
games
world.
arena, so yeah. But yeah, no, I have some work to do on the meet and greet side as well, for sure.
Well, Lee, you've let down another soul today. But the thing is you have to know, right? When so many people depend on your presence, how important you are. Just saying.
Yeah, that has to feel good. That has to feel good.
Yeah. It's a good dude. It's a good dude. All right. Overtime people. Min Karianis finished the other day. We've covered that. Coach Kathleen Ferris is at 24. Kikishan Dadwani is at 14. Oh, these are out of order, man. Elisa Mula is at 19, which is awesome. Go Elisa. And Kunle Palemo is at 10. Paul Moxness is at 9. Bill Massey is at 6. And there may be some movement coming out of Bill Massey. I had a conversation with him the other day, which was promising. I like him. If you haven't met him in real life or in fake life, like, you really do need to meet Bill Massey. He's amazing.
Yes. I met him on one of these calls, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just cut you off.
No, it's all good. Christopher Stitt is great. He's a Kindness Games record holder. He is the first person to do a live the Kindness Games joint kindness shout out when I came to DC and he met up with me.
That's
really
pretty
It
awesome.
was the first non-virtual joint kindness game shout out.
I was a little jealous. Coffee shop you were at looked really good.
Phil's Coffee is absolutely the best coffee that can be bought in any store. And that's an endorsement. I totally endorse them. Actually create my livelihood strategy around where a Phil's Coffee is. That's the only coffee shop that I cannot make their coffee better than they can.
Interesting.
Need to go.
Interesting.
Put it on my list.
And throwing shade on every other coffee place you've ever been. So it's an what is it? Yeah, anti-endorsement
it's a
of every other
promotion. It's a
coffee place that
promotion. We're
exists.
lifting them up. Also, Christopher Stitt was the first to do the kindness games in a bunny suit for
Accurate.
Easter, which was amazing, like a full-on bunny suit. And if you haven't seen that one, you should check it out.
It's definitely worth a view, that's for sure.
I was confused that he had no head on.
He's quickly becoming one of my favorite alumnus ever. He's amazing. Abhijit Kumar is at 5. Sue Ginsburg is at 5. Jay McDermott is at 5. Jason Sakura is at 3. Brandon Tan is at 2. Carlos Francisco is at 1. Josh Ledesma is at 1. Lisa Oliveri at 1. Angela Scalpello at 1. Eric Brinks at 1 in overtime. And Heidi Tripp, she kind of did a wind down post. It was very kind. She shouted out me, Lee, and Kelsey, who she works with. And that was very touching, actually. And she hinted that she had more people than 30. And all I heard was that overtime was coming. I know she didn't actually commit to it, but that's what I heard. So she's penciled in there.
Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we don't have anybody in the second or third wave. They have closed, which is awesome. The fourth wave has been pretty standard for a while. Jonathan Harris at 11, Saeed Sharif, also in Africa, at 5, Mandy Myers at 5, and Bert Hart at 3. The fifth wave also holding really steady. I think I got to jump on some calls with people. Kelsey, we need to start calling people up.
Agreed. I also have to meet a lot of these people.
Yeah.
There's some that I know. There's some that I don't, though. So.
Nabi Numer, friend of mine, he's at 13. Miranda Capolse at 11. Anmol Segal is at 5. Rob Liddick is at 5. George Shaman is at 3. Although George said he's like, I'm not doing any more unless you like call me and do a video conference. So what does that say about me not calling my friend?
Yeah. Well, now you know. It's on you.
Yeah. So that's really a way to like put your hooks into somebody and be like, you want something? Call me, bro. I feel like there's a song there.
Could be. Call me bro instead. I feel like that would be more of like a ballad, like a, they call me bro. We'll work something up.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Yeah. You and I, let's write that song, and then I will jump on with George.
Live music in the bar.
Yeah, sing him. There we go. I'll make a note. Call me bro. I'm gonna read that later and be like, what is that about?
Call who? What?
Yeah. Who do I want someone to call me bro? Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Awesome. Glenn Smith and Justin Hansen are at 1 in the fifth wave. The sixth wave, which started on New Year's New Year's Dave.
Good nickname for somebody.
What happens when your days are too long? Janet Fenner is at 13. Randy McNeely is at 4. Martha Donato is at 3. Chuck Harrell is at 3. Robert Carantino is at 2. Fee Megwabe is at 2. Mutinda Masao are at 1. And their Kunle brought them in on New Year's Eve. So I haven't met them yet. I need to call them.
Either.
And then, yeah, you know what? We got Brittany Galley, 1-ish. Fella Moreau at 1. Leah Dess at 1. Mary Gamble at 1. And Jennifer Kress one of my favorite people in the world that I've never met, is at 1. And then our final wave, the 7th wave, which began on February 17th, Wanda Townsend in the lead at
Crushing it.
13. She's amazing. Do you know Wanda?
I don't. Just loving the videos, so I need to reach out for sure.
She's
I
the
love
best.
that she's bringing people in,
Yeah,
whether
she's
it's
awesome.
forced or not. It's
I
great.
met her through the Wild Conversations on Friday.
Oh, I don't think I did.
Oh yeah, yeah, she's good people.
That's awesome.
Paul Barada at 10, Sarah Turton at 9, and Raymond Dimla, brought in by the amazing Coach Kat, is at 1. All right, that is our scoreboard. We won't go over the allies.
Woohoo.
But what are we thinking, gang? How are we going to close this out?
Eric?
I don't know. What are the options? Should we work out these lyrics now? Was that what we should do? Just kidding. Can't think like that on my feet. That won't work.
Yeah.
That won't work. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do on this call. It's funny. It's a shout out to people who won't see it necessarily, but I think it's an important one to do. So I mentioned, baby on the way. I don't know if I mentioned that on this specific call, but we've been doing a lot of stuff around the house, and I'm the type of person that I was raised by people who did everything themselves, and so I have the gene of being too cheap to pay somebody to do it, but I did not get the gene to actually be able to do it myself. So it's a really horrible place to be. But luckily I have some fantastic help with, all my family members, especially my father-in-law, has come over here, and, he's helping us redo the bathroom, and he's, did a bunch of stuff in the nursery for us. So it's really a shout out to him and to the rest of my family for assisting us in this crazy time of trying to get this house ready for all this, because again, too cheap to pay for it, to pay somebody professionally to do it. But luckily I have, professionals in my own family that are really stepping up, helping out. And it's been really, really nice. And something that, again, anybody who's lucky enough to have people like that, and people who are more than willing, you don't even have to beg them or bribe them. It's really nice to have. So I really wanted to do that today, because it's been a constant for the last few weeks, and it's been awesome. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks to everybody, because I think the list just keeps growing and growing. And every time we get on these calls, I'm just like fascinated by the amount of people that are joining, the people that we get to meet, the amazing alumni that we've met, people that, I feel like this has been going on for 5 years, to be honest with you. And
6
Tim,
months.
to your point earlier, it really is like a way of life. It sounds cheesy, but as I am always the cheesy person on every call, it's really like, it changes mindset. It brings people together, and it really, I think it makes a difference in your day-to-day, in your workplace, in your life, and your family. I brought my family in. I love that Wanda's bringing her family in.
Yeah.
Who else did? Janet Fenner brought her family in.
Yeah.
So really, I think it's just cool to see what everybody's doing, and I love to be a part of it.
It is. And, as a group, us alumni and the kindness committee, which is Lee, me, and Keikashawn and Kelsey, we've been kind of exploring this concept of like, what does it mean to lead in kindness, right? Because you have all of these different leadership models out there, right? Like you have servant leadership, which, sounds really good, but how do you measure how well you serve others? But you can actually measure your kindness output, how hard you try to recognize the humanity in another in all aspects of life and business. People can feel that difference. And I think, as we discuss like leading with kindness, it's becoming like the strongest philosophy of leadership, because it is so engaging, and it's the most scalable, because even when you mess up, and we all do, people see the track record, they see the effort, they see the trajectory of how you are with your people and what you're trying to accomplish. And yeah, we're really just kind of fleshing that out. And that's something else that we're going to be starting to talk about in the world. Like, how should you lead in kindness? How do you engage your employees, your customers in kindness?
Don't overcomplicate it too, right?
Right.
Like holding a door is being kind. I always use that analogy because it's so simple, yet it's overlooked. So,
Definitely. It's something that is interesting to me because as I've been thinking a lot about, where kind of the teaching of kindness sort of stops, and it's another one of those things that I think gets phased out in childhood for some reason. Where like most kids that you knew growing up and now, that's a big part of early childhood, but it sort of gets just kind of removed, or maybe it's assumed it's being covered somewhere else, and so that's something that I think is interesting too, because like you said, it doesn't have to, it's not complicated. It's really, really simple, but it's one of those like life skills almost that gets dropped at some point, which is really kind of a bummer. So yeah, hopefully it's something that can continue to grow and be an important part of not just, childhood, but
Yeah.
every aspect of
Well, I wonder if it's the sign of the times, right? Like, we're getting so busy. Parents aren't really raising their kids like they used to. Kids are spending more time with other people, school activities, and then this entire like time in society we are right now, where we're just so divided and disrupted. I kind of feel like that people, maybe they're looking out for number one more. They feel like they need to be more on guard, and they're spending less time focusing on kindness and good qualities and gratitude and humility. And you know what, Eric? Maybe you're going to be the trendsetter. Bring that parenting style back in vogue.
Gonna try. really,
Love that.
really gonna try for sure. For sure.
All right, I'll wait for your children's books to come out. The kindness games out.
Out.